Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Admit all. So, welcome our fearless leader and broker president, Craig Beggins, decided to join us today. So we got a couple things we'll talk about. Give me a second to get through this.
For a
I
major
want to
brand
show a video
with more
really
than
quick.
200 million.
I'm thinking about.
All right, we're gonna start off with a quick video. It's gonna lead into a quick discussion, and then we're gonna have a session called Ask Your Broker. Ask Your Broker anything. So basically, open forum, open roundtable. Ask Craig anything you want. Well, HR friendly questions. So please, it's Ask Your Broker anything. If you want feedback on what his honest, and I've asked him to be very direct and very open and honest about exactly what he feels. And he's going to deliver it to you real raw right on the spot. But we're going to start off with this quick video. So please just watch this video. We'll have a quick discussion after.
Two men right here in Chicago who were fairly successful, similar background, educated. They worked for a corporation for many years, and they were among many people that were laid off. Two guys who were very good friends. One went out looking for a job for several weeks along with the other one. And they faced disappointment and rejection again and again and again. They couldn't find any work. One guy stopped. He became discouraged. He stopped going. He stayed home looking at television, became very argumentative and toxic with his wife, drinking beer, getting on the phone, talking to his other negative, unemployed friends, and he just gave up. The other guy kept looking for a job everywhere he could go. Every time he could get an opportunity, kept asking people, networking, checking the newspapers every day, kept going everywhere he could, trying to find a job. You have too much education. You're overqualified. You won't be here long enough. He kept going. He kept going. He went to a place and said, look here, I tell you what, if you can't hire me, and I know you can use my talents, abilities, and skills, I don't want to sit home and do nothing. Just let me do some volunteer work. You don't have to give me anything, all right? I just want to work. I want to be busy. Guy said, okay, it's on you now, but don't expect me to give you anything. It's okay. This guy came in and worked. He was the first one there. The last one to leave was the best employee there. About 4 weeks later, one of the top managers quit. They were looking for a replacement. Guess who they selected? This other guy. This guy who was volunteering his time. He got the job. What was the difference between the two men? Eyesight and mindsight. Eyesight is judging on what you see. Judging according to appearances. But mindsight is how you interpret what you see. One guy said, it's not possible, it's over, I'm finished. I can't do it. I can't make it. He surrendered. I've faced rejection again and again. I'm not going anymore. There are no jobs out there. But this other guy, he felt that in spite of the no's and rejections, in spite of how bad the economy is, in spite of what the newspapers are saying, that it's possible that somebody somewhere will give me a job. He just kept going, thinking it was possible. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we have to do with our dreams. Because things happen to you in life that you can never, ever anticipate. And many times when those things happen, you want to give up.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
Decent message. What's the point?
Don't give up.
Keep moving, but also, okay, perspective. What's the difference between expectations? What's the difference between Kalani and any one of you? Kalani just had an opportunity to generate over $90,000 in income in 1 month. What's the difference between her and you?
Action.
Mindset, action, accountability, what you're going to do. She has the resources that you have. Everything she has accessible to her is the same thing that you guys have. Is she utilizing more or less of the resources that most of you might be using if you're not creating the opportunities? I would probably say more of those resources. If you're not generating, I'm not saying you're not getting $90,000 because you're not using all the resources. I'm just saying every single one of you has the same resources and opportunities available to you that the top producers and top agents have. You have the same resources and opportunities that Logan has, the same ones that Kalani has, the same ones that every other top listing agent that was on that list has. You have the same opportunities, the same options. You have the same awareness as everybody else. You just have to take some action and start using them. The perspective that you have. What's the difference between people that go to war? One of them, both of them end up losing an arm, a leg, or something, come back. One of them decides that they're going to drink, do drugs, and this is the end of my life. I'm never going to be useful again. I can't walk. I can't do this. I'm useless and I'm done. And they end up killing themselves. And the other one says, this is my purpose. I was made for this. I'm going to make a difference. I should be speaking to people to tell them exactly what they can do, where they can be, what they can accomplish in their life, because your life is not over. It's your perspective. It's how you see those things, how you look at those things. They both had the same exact experiences happen to them, but depending on how you look at them is going to depend on the action you take next. Kalani sees everything as an opportunity. RSP sends her a message, says this person looked at what their value of their home was. What did she do? She could have easily goes, somebody else in the farm, they're not going to list. They're probably not going to do this. And even when she sent him the thing, nope, not going to list, not going to do this. I don't want it. Leave me alone. I really just want it. He goes, don't call me again. Followed up again. Yep, not going to list, not going to do it, not going to happen. Followed up again. Yeah, I don't know why you keep doing this. It's not going to happen. This guy was a very high D personality too. Very high D. And eventually, yes, I want to sell. And now it's double-sided with another opportunity. So you all have the same opportunities available to you. It's going to be the perspective, the way you see things, and the action you're going to take after that. So just shift your perspective a little bit. Everything should be treated like an opportunity, and it doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what they're saying about the market. It doesn't matter what's happening with interest rates, because in the 1980s, people like this guy right here bought homes with a 13% interest rate. Do y'all think Jim makes dumb, stupid moves and dumb decisions? No, if you ask him, he might say a little different. No, he's a very smart man. He has a huge history behind him with the business that he's done and the relationships that he's built. He's a very, very intelligent individual. And he bought a home at 12, 13% interest rate. What an idiot. No, it's what's going on in the market. People still need to buy. People still need to sell. It does not matter what's going on around it. You guys need to figure out what your avenue is going to be. Where do you want to put your focus? What do you want to create, and start taking action? And if you need help with that, I'm right here. That guy right in the back is right there. This guy's right here. Anytime you need help, anytime you want to discuss those things, if you're not comfortable, come to me, go to Jimmy. If you don't want to talk about it with Jimmy, go to Craig. If you don't want to go to Craig and you feel better with any of the other managers, call them. That's what we're all here for. We have your absolute best interest in mind. I want nothing but to see every single one of you succeed, but you have to start seeing that everything is an opportunity, and no matter what is going on around you, the only thing that matters is what's going on in here.
I want to add to that point about the 13.5% interest. Think about this. If you're not going to buy a house for yourself to live in, what are you going to do? You're going to rent one of my houses, right? What am I going to do with my rent?
Raise it.
I'm going to raise it because I got to cover the 13.5% mortgage rate, right? So you're either going to pay off your mortgage or you're going to pay off your landlord's mortgage. Which one would you rather do? Right?
Right now, rentals are a little more sparse too, because you have somebody who owns a rental home for so long and he's raised the rent for a while, but then he sees the price has gone up and he has an agent who's maybe not advising him to what his best interests are. And they see that, hey man, he goes to his agent and says, I've got 300,000 in equity. I think I should sell it. And instead of the agent telling him, hey, let's look at all of your options. Let's make sure that you're maximizing your return. Let's see, what are you going to do with the money? How can we get you more money if we use that 300,000? They see a check and say, yeah, let's sell it. And he sells it for 300,000. There's a rental that's gone. The next guy that buys that rental can't rent it out for the amount that he wants to, paying the price that he's going to pay because the return's not there. So we lose a rental on the market. You have somebody that's probably going to buy that and make it an end result home. They're an end buyer, more than likely. So we lose some rentals. So right now, rentals are sparse. So they're having a harder time finding them. The rental prices are going through the roof. They're going to have an easier time finding a home to buy with you helping them navigate through the interest rates, getting some closing cost credits, navigating the price, getting them into the home that they want.
And don't forget Home Partners. They got $5 billion. If you're not Home Partner certified, you're nuts.
hedge against inflation. It is a win-win-win-win all around for everybody. The agents, the tenant, home partners, everybody wins. The seller, I'm going to make you a cash offer that's going to be damn near the list price more than likely, as long as it's reasonably priced. We're going to get you into that home. This person gets a tenant into property. The tenant gets a fixed rental rate for 5 years. They get a fixed purchase price for every one of the next 5 years that they can buy it. If they pay 2.5 or 3.5% more in the next year and home values still go up 9%, they're still 6% better, basically. They locked their price in. They hedged against inflation. So pick your dream home now, rent it. And if the prices go up like I think they're going to, buy it because you hedged against inflation. You made a great decision. If the prices go down like you think they're going to, cancel the listing and go buy a cheaper house somewhere else. You just made a great decision.
Or stay here for the next 4 years and rent.
Yeah.
Because most people have to move every year. Moving sucks. Who's done some home? What areas are they buying around here? North Tampa, mostly. Flood zones are not acceptable. And you get a full commission instead of a rental commission.
Yep.
But I want to get more. And I've asked home partners to give us a heat map of where they've bought in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, and Sarasota County so we can see. Because Manatee County is a good place to buy right now. Lots of opportunities out there.
Yeah, there's a lot in Manatee County. Bradenton's a hot area for home partners, buying a lot of homes down there. St. Pete, if they're not in a flood zone, that's really going to help them out. They're not buying a whole lot that's right in this immediate area, but there's a lot of areas that they are buying in all around the greater Tampa Bay area.
Well, my neighborhood just came up. We have 0 houses for sale now.
Yeah.
0, not one house for sale in Symphony.
Let me just
And
check
the two
our
that sold were like, holy shit.
check our slides, make sure we got our top producers we covered. Moxie, we've been going over that a lot. Just a quick recap on we have our production policy. We mentioned this before. Just want to hit on this again. It's really not applying to anybody in the room. But if you are, we're a company that is spending a lot of money to make sure that you have an opportunity to be successful. And we take on all of those costs. So if you're a brand new agent, within the first year, we give you 12 months that you have to start producing. After 12 months, if you haven't produced anything, then we're going to have to start charging a monthly fee. And it's really just, hey, I want to see that you've got some skin in the game. I'm going to continue to show up every single day for you. I just need you to start showing up a little bit more for us. And we want to make it the best partnership that we can. So basically it's going to be $50 a month. You'll have an opportunity. If you have not produced anything in the last 12 months, basically 1 a quarter, 4 deals in a year, we're going to ask you to make a commitment. Commit to the next 90 days of coaching, showing up, coaching with us, committing to a lane, saying that I'm going to do this. Let's work with you to get those deals in the bank. And if you're not willing to do that, move over to our referral network where you can still talk to people. And if you come across something, refer the business back to somebody else for a nominal referral fee. Or if you decide that you don't want to do real estate anymore, then you're more than welcome to part ways with us. But we do have to also run a business as well. But our business is typically wanting to make sure that every single one of you has an opportunity for success. If you aren't creating success in the last 12 months in the market that we've had with the systems, processes, and tools that we have to provide for you, then we should be having a talk. We need to have some discussions.
Come up from under the rock.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's kind of wind down before we do Caravan. I want to just have an open session for open roundtable. Ask your broker anything. So what questions?
I just found out about this morning. So
Yeah, it's kind of it sprung it on.
you're going to get a raw answer. So,
And that's really the point. We want you to have a raw answer. So I'll start it off so we can kind of just get some open flow. What is your just complete raw and honest feeling on what the market is right now and what the next 6 months or a year holds?
well, 30 years in the business now as a broker for this company. I've been through 2 downturns, and every downturn we've grown more because our competition is new and inexperienced and scared, right? We've got way too many agents in the real estate market right now. They're going to fall off like mad. We had 4 more quit today. Not quit quit the industry. They didn't pay their board dues, 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 didn't pay their board dues. I think we lost 25 people so far this month, just for that reason. So those of you who are engaged are going to stay. And my opinion, honestly, a full service brokerage like us that provides leadership and guidance is going to outperform the lack of leadership and guidance in the marketplace. I could use your help right now. I don't know if you know how real estate teams work, but there's a team leader. who has all these agents in servitude to the master, right? And so these team members are basically buyer's agents, and they're given leads and told to prospect and follow up, which is a great way to learn. They're interns basically. And they've done a good job. They've learned how to sell houses. They've learned how to work with buyers. They've learned how to do lead follow-up, but they don't exist on the planet. Their name does not mean anything because they don't get any award credit for anything. I want you guys, when you're dealing with a buyer's agent or a team, like David Lovitch has a whole bunch of team members underneath them. We want to talk to those team members and enlighten them to the fact of what a real estate agent is. We just hired one in Tampa, and literally the girl cried and hugged the OTL and said, I never knew I could do this before. I was only allowed to work buyers. Now you're telling me I can call for sale by owners and expired listings. I can actually work like both sides of a transaction. That's how oppressed they were.
Well, you have to, with any business, the statements, especially with real estate, but with any business, you don't grow your business from within. You grow it by adding new business, new team members, new sales associates, new opportunity into the business. That's just a business stat. Why? Because every single one of you that's here already has habits in real estate. Good, bad, and different. You have habits. You do things a certain way. And if we try to get you to do more, we have to break your current habit of how you are to get you to commit to something else. And the likelihood of that happening is kind of slim. You're going to end up going back to some of those old habits. It's a lot easier to bring new people in, teach them from scratch, show them the opportunities, get them to create the habits that we want them to build and start bringing in new opportunities than it is to get you to break your habits and do more on your own. So we put a lot of faith in you because you see all of the commitments that we have to you and all of the opportunities we try to bring to you, because we are trying to grow from within as well. We're doing everything we can to do that, but we're also putting focus on recruiting from other companies too. So whatever help you can bring us would be very beneficial and very helpful. And those team members are typically the easiest ones because now we can actually give them an identity when they come over to us. Instead of being a team member, they actually become the president of their business incorporated, and they get to create the real estate opportunities they want.
Yeah. And if they've closed at least 4 transactions, we consider them an experienced agent, and the bounty on them is $2,500 to you, paid as they have closings. You get half of what the company gets from their closings until you reach $2,500. So if you helped us hire 5 people, that's $12,500.
So I guess
on your new car.
Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead, raise your hand, or raise your hand online if you wanted to ask Craig anything. How do you feel about the status of the company with all of the talk of recession, downturns? What do you think about the status of Beggins Enterprises?
I want to put your mind at ease. We have been very fiscally responsible. We have a ton of cash because we haven't made disbursements. We're ready to rile any storm. So, but we're also going to be very cautious. I've done this before. I've got really good advisors. If the market drops, I've got triggers that if it marks below a different point, we'll start doing things differently. Like maybe we'll have less top agent events, maybe not full bar tabs, maybe not, all the things that I think our last bar tab was $6,000 the last event we did, that will probably stop some of those type of things. But right now I'm not concerned. I'll tell you the target's $1.6 million. $1.6 million is when I start getting nervous. If that's the only revenue we bring in for the month, I go, whoa, right? But we've been doing over $2 million a month, and all that's been sitting there. And Joy has been very, very responsible. And she's been hounding every penny she can do. So I think I'm just blessed. I think we have the best management team we've ever had. And I'm not worried about rolling through a down market, because this is not a down market, by the way. we're seeing a deceleration. I think those words have to be communicated. Prices are not falling. The price appreciation is decelerating. Correct. Yeah. The price reduction in MLS does not mean prices are falling. It takes now. I told you I market my neighborhood. I don't market. I study my neighborhood a lot. They put that friggin' house on Allegro on at $2.5 million. Had no place being there, but it was on the market for 59 days and now it's under contract. And I guarantee it's somewhere around 2.2, 2.3, right? 0 lot lines that were 600,000 a year ago, going on the market at $1.2 million, sitting on the market for 38 days under contract. They're not getting $1.2 million. They're probably getting $1.125, but it was 600 grand a couple of years ago. So is that a price reduction? No, that's rapid appreciation. And we just have to keep, and what do we talk about? Control the narrative, because the media is just out of control. They just.
How many agents out there do not have the input, the direction, the message that we are trying to deliver to you daily with the marketing Mondays, the sales meetings, the Wednesdays, the Thursdays, the Fridays, telling you, here's what's really going on. Here's what we're seeing. Here's the live experiences. How many agents don't have that? You go to EXP, you don't have that kind of engagement. And if you do, you've got it from a national level, and the national market, is it different than ours?
Yes.
Completely different than ours. The national market appreciated at over 19%. The Tampa Bay market appreciated at 33, 34% when you look at numbers from last year going into earlier this year. So everything's completely different. We're trying to make sure that each of you has that opportunity to see how hyper local every single market is, has the narrative to try to get it in front of more people, have those conversations with more people, because that's really what's going to make the difference in that getting people to stay active in the market. The activities in the real estate market are going to be dictated by the activities of the agent in the market. Adam, you had a question?
Yeah, in your experience in the downturn, specifically in the ones with interest rate kind of driven, is there a price point, that typically experiences more heat than others?
Yeah. It's your first time home buyer market.
Really expensive, maybe there's people come from outside the market that can throw cash at it, but is there a price point where people are more?
It's always your first time home buyers who suffer the most, right? I mean, think about it. Where are you going to find a $200,000 house today? Where do you got to go? Maybe Mulberry, but
Hudson.
Mulberry's new construction is 300,000 and up. Maybe Brooksville, but it might be a mobile home, Brooksville. Wauchula. Yeah. But you've also got a huge work from home movement now that's letting people work in country environments and still get their high paying job. And the one thing that's different for Tampa Bay is we haven't had the high price jobs that allow people to come here and buy high price homes. But what's happened is the people from other states that have high price jobs got work from home orders, and they don't have to live in those states anymore. And when you look at the benefits, and these are the stuff I'd be posting about if I were you guys. Our property tax situation in Florida is amazing. There's no cap, there's no income tax for the state.
The state has over a $20 million surplus. The state government has over $26 million surplus. The state of Florida. There's other states that are bankrupt and have nothing and have deficits. We've got over $20 million surplus.
1,000 people a day are moving into Hillsborough County. And they're coming from other places, and there are no $200,000 houses here anymore. So they're coming in. Our average sales price is up to $450,000 right now. We do.
You got to talk about home insurance and flood insurance. So there are some offsetting factors,
But that's my point. Talk about them.
Yeah.
And know the truth.
So somebody's home insurance where they bought their home and it was a 7-year-old home. They've been there for 3 years. On year 10, year 11, their home insurance went from $1,200 to $1,100 to $1,200 to $1,300 to $1,500 to $1,700. And this last year it doubled, or they're dropping them because the roof hit 10 years old. And now that coverage is going to get dropped.
Yeah. But all they got to do is go to
All they gotta do
TD
is-
Bank and get a home equity line of credit, borrow the money, put a new roof on their house.
They can go shop their policy and they'll probably get a better rate with somebody, maybe not back to 1,400, but it's not going to be 2,500 to 3,000. They'll get a better rate with somebody for the next 5 years, allow them to plan for getting that roof to be put on, do a home equity line because they have so much equity if they want, but you can talk about those things. But the property taxes here are much better. Do you know what some of the property taxes are in other states? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. New Jersey,
And think about
Illinois.
this.
Yep.
Right.
A $600,000 home is between $12,000 and $15,000 in taxes. You can be on the water in Mira Bay with your boat behind your house and paying $1 million. Your taxes are going to be around that, even with the CDD.
Right. And I don't want to forget this either. The tax-free gain, the first $250,000 of gain is exempt from taxation, federal taxation for a single person, $500,000 for a married person.
Mm-hmm.
Where else are you going to get a $250,000 or $500,000 tax-free hit? I've never
no
seen
other
it.
investment. There's no other investment
nothing.
that's going to give you that much leverage on that first bit.
So
of
that's a
money without
conversation with your
taxes.
absentee owners. If you have a guy who owns 3 houses in Tampa and he lives in Chicago, you know, well, he doesn't get that because he's not a homestead property.
What
But
other
you gotta know
questions?
that too.
Any other questions? What other questions do you have? Ask away, raise your hand online, unmute yourself.
I talk to y'all all day long anyway.
What's the direction of the company?
Hey,
Where-
how about the videos? Are you seeing the video? You know, Jonathan, our videographer, quit. He moved to Georgia. Yeah, sad. We really liked him. We just hired a new guy. His name's Jordan. He lives here in Apollo Beach, actually. So I don't know if we've heard that yesterday.
Mhm.
So he's going to start next Monday. So we're putting a lot of content out. I mean, Jonathan was coming to my house every Thursday, and he was taking these videos and editing and posting people, and they were never seeing it. I sent one out last week. Did you all see that? We want to keep sending those out because we want you to see them too. They're designed to attract and repel other agents, but I want you guys to know what we're talking about because that's a lot of this stuff we were talking about right now.
You should be doing a lot of those same, take the message that he delivers
And
put it
repeat
in
it.
your own words.
That's
Take an
why we do it.
article from Florida Realtors and put it into your own words. Take some of these short snippets of things and just shoot a 30-second to 1-minute video, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok, share it across everything, and you'll start getting more exposure. Kalani, how often do you prospect? Please, you can say never.
Never.
You can say never. I'm not trying to set you up and hoping you say no. Tell me never. No, I'm saying cold call people you've never ever met or never known, ever. How long you never in the time being in a business, because she puts out enough contact and is in enough networking groups and talks to her sphere enough and does all of those things enough. If you look at any of her social, there'll be a month or two where she might be down and hasn't put out so much. But then other than that, it's a post, a story, a video, an open house, a real estate, a personal, a family. There's stuff all over the place. And then she calls her friends, talks to her friends, texts her friends, shows up at networking events, holds open houses, creates events, goes
And
to
most
places,
involve wine.
goes and plays bunco, goes to social hour, wine or bourbon. So she's in all of those things and doesn't have to prospect. But how are you doing those same things?
But that's not true. She doesn't have to. Okay, so there's 4 things, and help me with these.
Yes.
All right. There's a hunter personality type, and there's certain things that hunters do. Hunters are direct, and they don't mind talking to strangers. Right. So be honest to yourself. If you're a hunter, there's certain activities you're going to do. And I've asked Mike Puma to give us direct activities and point guides to act like a hunter.
Logan is a hunter.
Logan's a hunter. Right. And then there's prospectors. Prospectors, hunters, same thing. Then there's networkers. Kalani's a networker. She's got her social clubs, her bunco groups. She's got a group that goes to Latitudes or whatever it is. She networks around and does open houses and turns them into events. And there's a whole channel of activities for a networker to do what they do. And, you know, to thine own self be true. If you like networking, be a networker, right? And then there's social marketing. You know, there's influencers. If you're social media people, Mike's marketing guide is I'm not a marketing guy, right? I hire marketing guys. Mike's daily marketing guide is awesome, right? But that means you're putting out content and then you're looking up your friends and you're posting them, you're sending them notes and you're engaging with them back and forth. And that is growing, but that's a job in and of itself. And then the 4th one was, I just looked at it, let's see my truck.
The internet leads is basically you're someone you're going to
yeah.
take opportunities and leads.
Yes.
You're someone, I don't want to prospect. I don't want to network.
Yep.
I'm not the go out there people person. I'm going to take what comes in.
I'm going to take what strangers are fine, but I'm not going to know them. I'm going to convert. I'm a converter.
That's it.
All right. Right. You give me a Zillow lead. I'm going to set an appointment. I'm going to take them, show them a house, and I'm going to write a contract. I'm going to sit in an open house. I'm going to let people come in. And then I'm going to greet them very well, make them feel good, and I'm going to convert them, right? I'm going to take any stranger and I'm going to convert them. That's a converter. So if you're a converter, we do these activities. It might be a lot of open houses, but I think the important part there is you have to determine which is your way, which is your lane that you want to follow.
Mhm.
And then we'll give you different ideas that you can plug into to fulfill that desire for you. Because if you're not a hunter and we put you into a hunter's job description, you're going to fail and you're going to hate it. Right. But if you're a networker and you like drinking bourbon and wine and they have those things at Latitudes, then you're going to be in your glory and make money.
Yep.
Right.
Case in point, I had an agent.
And if you're a Zillow lead converter, Kelly, you've done a fantastic job converting leads. You've banged the hell out of Op City. You've banged the hell out of Zillow. I mean, we're talking 20, 30 transactions a year, just converting. That's fantastic.
Like case in point, I had somebody I spoke with when they first started and said, I'm not going to do this. Meaning I'm not going to knock on doors.
Okay.
Okay. He's like, no, see, I won't knock on doors. I'm like, okay, what will you do? I'll call everybody. Okay, so do that. Really? Yeah. Why the hell am I going to tell you to do something you're not going to? If I'm telling you, if you're not going to do it, you hate doing it, you don't want to do it, you're never going to do it. So what will you do? I'll call people. Great. How many people can you call? "Oh,
And
can
I'd
call this
love to
many."
find out who the converters are.
Yeah.
Because we've got
Opportunities.
hundreds and hundreds of company opportunities right now. And I can find you, not somebody like Jackie, because Jackie does her own lead follow-up, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of leads that don't do any lead follow-up. Glenn Mills Owens is one.
Here's the, I noticed that there's a lot more recruiting going on from other companies. I know Remax is back at it again. So you're probably getting,
Would you guys just block his
they
number?
they just turned back on. They're going crazy after the producing agents. But here's the reality of it. Here's what I want you to do. Our goal is to put more deals in your pocket. If we can do 3 to 5 more deals every single year that we put in your pocket, we give you that opportunity to convert and create 3 to 5 new opportunities every single year. We will blow anybody else's commission offering out of the water.
How about dollars in your bank account?
If
not
you're a
split of
hundred-
check.
If you're $100,000 earner getting paid an 80% split, you pay us $20,000. If you're a $100,000 earner going somewhere for 90%, you pay them $10,000. Obviously, 90% is greater than 80. I get that. But if we look at your $100,000, how many of those deals are opportunities that we helped you generate through Cardis, through Relo, through Zillow, through walk-ins, through beach projects, through different posts, through different avenues that we gave you an opportunity? Some of them won't even come with a company generated split, because there's stuff that we gave you the opportunity for because you engaged with us, and it's a narrative, it's a post, it's something that somebody commented on, and you were the one who converted it. But you wouldn't have done that if you weren't associated with us. But then other ones are company generated. So let's say we create company generated leads that we give you. They're 40% referrals and 50-50 splits. It is what it is. It's not about the commission split. It's about the dollars you put in your pocket. On a $10,000 deal, that's a $3,000 check in your pocket. If we get you 3 to 5, that's $9,000 to $15,000 more in your pocket at the end of the year.
Which means you only paid us, instead of 20, you paid us 5, which is less than you would have paid Remax.
Exactly. So at an 80% split, and we gave you 5 of those deals that put an extra $12,000 to $15,000 in your pocket. Did we help you generate more money than if you went over there for a 90% split? Because we got to go from 100,000. We got to take 5 deals out of your pocket right away. I made $100,000. No, you didn't. We gave you 5 of those opportunities. You got to take 15 grand out of your pocket right away. Now you're down to $85,000 right out of the gates. Now let's look at all the other things. What do you have to pay? What do you have to spend? You're going to have to buy your own signs. You're going to have to put up your own posts. You're going to do most of your listings at 2%, because if you look at a lot of the listings, there's a lot of scared people right now who don't have the leadership and direction, who are
In the
taking
MLS,
opportunities.
the only people paying 3% in the MLS
Those are us.
is us. What does that mean for the rest of the marketplace? They're friggin' wimps, right? So if you're listing at 2 and we're listing at 3, you're already making 33% more than they are.
Yep. So those are all I make $100,000. No, because you're gonna cut yourself down, because I'm making more money with a 90% split. I can cut my commission. You just made less money by doing that. The whole reason you went there was to make more money, and then you cut your commission down to 2. Number one. Number two, the company generated opportunities that we want the ability to give you. So if you want those opportunities, come to us. We have opportunities and ways to get you engaged with them. Just let us know.
But we want to know if you're a converter, if you're a networker, if you're a marketer, or there's 4. There's not all on top of my head. Cool.
Anybody, any other questions that you wanted to ask? Anything else you wanted input on? Otherwise, we'll move on to Caravan, because we're getting to that point. We'll wrap this up by 10:30 in the next 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So let's jump into our Caravan.
Isn't it funny? We actually have caravans, houses that are on the market long enough to actually go look at.
We
That's
got
kind of fun.
We got 3 properties on Caravan. We got Birdie Way in Apollo Beach, Isle Bay and Mira Bay, Apollo Beach, and Unbridled Song in Ruskin. So Amber, I know you're online, so why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself, and I'm going to pull your listing up so we can talk about that.
Can you hear me okay?
Ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Hey, everybody. So 846 Birdie is a good friend of mine's home, and it's beautiful. It sits on the Apollo Beach golf course. So when you come by today, I have a questionnaire that if you could just take a couple minutes and let me know after you see the view and walk the house, if you feel that the uncertainty of the Apollo Beach Golf Course might be affecting, a slower, buyer response than typical, or if it is maybe the pricing, which I don't think it is. It's very, very pretty, but I think that some more feedback, especially from those of you who are from Apollo Beach, who know the back history of the golf course and what could potentially happen, would be helpful.
I heard from an unreliable source yesterday that a hedge fund out of New York bought the golf course for the purpose of maintaining a golf course. But I talked to the owner
Right.
of the property last week, and he told me he had prospects, but nobody signed a contract yet. And I asked specifically, are they going to keep it as a golf course or build houses on it? And he said they're intended to build houses. So I'll find out today and I'll let you know
Okay.
that. Because that's a big,
Okay, otherwise, yes, come look at it. There's no HOA. And it's got the pond, it's got the big fairway view, big yard, circular driveway, and it's gorgeous.
What was that?
And it's gorgeous.
Tell your sellers, I'm sorry, I may have hit that house once or twice on that golf course.
Okay.
So what do we got? How big is it? What's the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage and price?
Okay, so right now it's listed at 515. It's just over 2,000 square feet, but it feels bigger. It does have the 4 bedrooms, which it's really very unique because the 4th bedroom is more of like a master and an office bedroom or nursery, which would be perfect for anybody who has a young baby, toddler age, or somebody who works from home. They have their own kind of wing of the house over there on the right-hand side of the home. And it's got very mature landscaping. A brand new roof just came on in May. So it's been updated, passes 4 points just fine. It is, 1980s. So the HOA or the homeowners insurance is up there a little.
What is, I'll put you on the spot. What's the
Yeah.
insurance, flood insurance?
We just turned in the paperwork for the wind mitt. So I don't have the new numbers for the homeowners. The flood is about 4,300, I think she said.
How long have they owned the property?
She has owned this property since let's see, 16 or 17.
That's about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. She lived right across the street before it. So she owned 2 houses on the street and her mom lives down the street. It's a
and I'm
great
reading the
street.
public description. It says golf course is for sale and could really have an amazing redesign in its future. That's a good way of saying something's going to happen. We don't know what it is.
I wanted to disclose it. Yeah.
You have
And
to
it's funny
disclose
because yeah, on the Apollo Beach community page, I actually saw a post a week or so ago and somebody said, I'm looking at this house on the golf course, but they're saying that they don't know what's going to happen behind it. And I'm like, call me because I disclosed that and I'd like to give you the true backstory. So if we could find that out, that'd be great.
Good. But we have to disclose something. What do we know?
Yeah.
Something's going to change.
Something is going to change.
Mhm.
That's about it. So that we just let them know what the opportunity is.
It's an
behind it.
amazing redesign. It's going to have
that's
houses
I
or
think
it's going
that's
to
a
be a
great
beautiful
way.
golf course.
Great way to spin that. Next, Jimmy, bring us up for Kalani. We have 422 Isle Bay.
Don't tell me what to do.
Sorry, I won't tell you what to do anymore.
Isle Bay.
I know, I'm just-
422 Isle Bay. It is a 4-bedroom, 2-story, on the water, dock and lift, got a 10,000-pound lift.
Oh, sweet.
I think 2,600 square feet. They have new roof, newer AC, brand new carpeting, freshly painted exterior and interior. It's a beautiful, beautiful home. Look at that spacious backyard. I mean, just blank palette, like ready for you and your pool. It's a gorgeous home. They owned it for 16 years. It was a rental for many, many years. They moved back and now they want to stay in Mirror Bay and they want to purchase the single story of my 717 Isle Bay listing. So we need to get this under contract. I'm under the gun. I now have less than 30 days.
How much is it?
830,000.
Is there anything on the water in Mirror Bay for 800,000?
No. So the home 3 doors down, that's the exact same floor plan, exact same, no pool on the water with the dock and lift, new roof, all that. Sold within, it went under contract within 7 days at 825. So yes, their comps are higher, but we priced it very aggressively and competitively to get an offer quickly because they're under the gun. It's a home contingency sale so that so the seller doesn't kick them out for 717 out Bay.
I think at 8:30, that's a deal.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, nice. Now, secretly, Kalani doesn't want you to bring her buyer so she can double side this one
I
and the
know,
other
I know.
one. So she can have
That'd be
two
great.
double sides,
No,
but
bring me buyers.
bring the
bring me
buyer.
buyers. We are doing, so caravan tour today, with my lender partner Dolan Mortgage, which is wonderful. So we will have mimosas,
No bourbon?
and yumminess, no bourbon. Nope, nope. And let's see. And it's not a caravan tour, but my villa, the 2-bedroom villa, is still for sale. We did a recent price adjustment to $414,000, and the seller pays the $5,000 upcoming assessment for the new roof that they're getting in 2023. So they are very, very motivated. Showing requests for that have really just dropped off. So, anything, bring me buyers who want low maintenance living. It's a beautiful,
look at that.
beautiful villa.
Those
So
are the villas. There's nothing in,
The only one that's waterfront on salt water is 919 is the next lowest one.
this one's not even a waterfront and it's
Right.
1.1,
mhm.
9,
1.3,
1.3.
1 point, everything is $1 million except 925 down the road. So
Mhm,
it's a
correct.
great deal, very aggressively priced. I love the fact that you did that just because you made the smart decision. Look, we can go higher, but since we have a contingency and you want this other home,
Total
this is
fair.
what we should
Go
do and need to do to get this, to create a sale.
Tell us what's going on in Marisol Point. If you want to buy a new Park Square home,
Oh yeah, because so a lot of people are comparing that too, which Park Square is a completely different builder and type of builder than a lot of these homes were built. So you do have different features, different layouts, it's a very just
Park
different
Square starting
built.
over $1 million for the waterfront though, right?
Well, yeah, so
Yes.
for a waterfront, similar square footage, you're probably 1.2 now, and that's not including your pool, not including your dock or your lift.
And it's a
So-
production built home rather than a semi-custom like a David
Correct.
Weekly or whatever that was.
Correct.
But that's knowing your market, right? That's a great price. That should sell very quickly.
43,
If it doesn't, let me know because it's
41, bridal sale. We'll pull it up and check. And then our last one on Caravan is 4341 Unbridled Song,
where's
which
that?
is over in Cypress Creek in Ruskin. So right down 19th.
Has anybody driven on Paseo El Mar yet?
Yes.
I haven't done it yet. Really? Oh
I
my
was-
God.
If you get through Paseo Omar, through Belmont, across 301 into the backside of South Fork there, when I would drive over there, it said, my GPS would say 17 to 22 minutes typically. When that opened up, I left here and it still said 17 to 22 minutes because it doesn't recognize this road. As soon as I got to the other side, it shaved off about 6 to 10 minutes, depending on the day that I went.
Well, there's now
It's-
7 traffic lights on Big Bend roads. It's ridiculous.
It's awesome. So the only thing you run into is the idiots who don't know how to work a roundabout.
Right.
So Christian, you've got Unbridled Song in Cypress Creek. Tell us about this one. What do you got?
Prepared for this today. I
Huh?
didn't know I was gonna. be
Oh, just tell me about the listing. That's it.
It's a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath,
Real close to your mouth though, because online.
5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. It's a lake behind it. I'm struggling a little bit because the neighbor next door to us, right next door, just listed for $395. And then we have ones that are listed that have sold for $437, $440. So you come out today, I'm looking for some insight on what I can do for pricing. Jimmy and I have already talked about getting pictures redone, so definitely we're gonna do that. Other than that, I don't know why, we've only had 2 showings so far. And
I think the pictures are really important because the public is seeing this. They're on notifications. They're on Zillow, they're on Realtor.com, they're on this. And a professional, I did training with Shannon last week. It makes a difference when those, they make it look good.
Look at the different, these are full
Full frame.
screen, full frame photos. So we just gotta, we need to have a better representation of the property so that people can see it a little more clean, a little more clear. And unfortunately, just because some things have sold for 420 to 440, that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, because what some of the buyers were buying in there, offer pad, open door, were offering 400, 415, 420 for homes in there. They're no longer buying at those prices. They've cut their prices back pretty significantly. And that was driving a lot of the prices up with some of the end buyers that were there. And if you have a neighbor 2,200 square foot and this one's 2,400 square foot, it's 200 square foot difference and they're $25,000 less.
Well, you're $200 a foot now, so it's not bad.
So $100 a foot that's pretty much spacing it right out there. It's just, we just need to follow those and see. I know we've discussed some of the pricing here. I just think
Well, the way I look at that is I'm a buyer. I'm going to look at this house. I'm going to look at both, right? Which one am I going to choose? Which one's in better shape? Right. And this is when we go back to that list I had on the sales meeting agenda. What else could we do other than lowering the price? Could we go to Home Depot right around the corner and get some flowers, put some flowers in planter beds, little things that are just inexpensive that we didn't have to worry about before, because if it had dog shit in the yard, nobody cared. But now get the dog shit out of the yard, plant some flowers, spend $100. I'm sorry. I mean, we have to start thinking that way, because it's not always price, right? We're almost at $200 a foot pretty much for a regular house now. Right? Is that right on that?
yeah.
So if that house is 200 square feet smaller, that's $40,000 less, right? You're at 400, they're at 385. That's only 15,000. So your house should be worth $40,000 more. But if it's not getting attention, the market's talking to us, and that's all we can do is adjust. And it's not always price. Sometimes buy some palm trees. Lennar does a job of, they give you a $1,500 landscaping package. You go spend $3,000 on trees, put a sprinkler system in, and all of a sudden you've got an oasis house, and a buyer is going to see that and see value in it. Because what you've got is proof of appraisals in the last 6 months that'll justify your price. So you can afford to, if they have the money, afford to invest a little in the appearance. Joe, do you agree? The appearance makes a big difference, especially when you've got, that's what's a greener for sale, right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3 on that screen, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've gotten some competition now. We haven't had that before. And who knows the definition of what a house is worth
what a buyer's willing to pay the day they decide to buy.
based on what else is available the day they decide to buy. So the best thing that could happen is get that 385 off the market, right? Let it go. And then you got the other comps that an appraiser will use.
Right. You also,
A house is worth what a buyer's willing to pay based on
I
what
also-
else is available the day they decide to buy.
I also, some of the, these are strictly opinions too. When you look at a price, can you incentivize an agent to bring a buyer to a property?
Yes.
Can you incentivize the agent to make a buyer buy the property? So what do you need first?
Them to show up.
You need the buyer's interest first. So if you don't have buyer interest, how do you get the buyer interest? Incentivize the buyer. Price, closing costs, credits,
Condition.
buy downs, condition, appearance. You need the buyer's attention before you incentivize an agent.
Here, some of you haven't heard this before. If a house is getting showings and no offers, the public is rejecting the price. And typically we found that a 5% price reduction will get more showings. If the realtor community is ignoring the house, not showing it, that's a bigger problem. That means the realtors don't see the value. And that usually takes like a 10% price reduction to make a difference. So that's something you can use with a seller. We found over time that if we're getting showings and no offers, the realtors are saying with the value, but the public's saying, nah, there's other stuff we like better because I'm getting no offers. I'm not picking on you. This is just generic market stuff.
Absolutely.
Good.
Started off at 449. So that was 450. That was $10,000 higher than most all of the other sales. Just remember this, one sale does not create a market.
Nope.
Just because one home sold for that price doesn't mean that's what the market's going to be and where we should price it. So we were at 449 and there was one home that sold for like 447 or 449. And but they're gone now. They're no longer comps right now. No, they're no longer because they sold too long ago.
They're not available anymore.
They're not available to use as a comp because an appraiser right now, they're wanting to only use in the last 90 days. They will use 6 months, but they want 90 days because of
If they have 90 days, they're going to take it.
because how fluid the market is, they're going to use those first. So if the most recent 90 days are in this range, they're going to use those instead of going back to there.
Don't take that advice.
Seller is willing to contribute to buyer's closing costs and prepaids. Bring an offer. We are negotiable. Please just view the home. Do not touch my stuff. Please, buyer's agent must be present.
You making that up?
No, that's what it says. Please do not touch my personal.
That's your
belongings.
competition.
Yeah.
Don't touch my stuff. Owner, realtor.
Please do not touch personal belongings in the house. That's what they're saying. Like, okay. Well, we'll take that. There's online. So let's take that offline. We're going to wrap up so we can get Caravan and we can have some open discussion in the room. So Caravan, let's just say it's 10:40 now. Is everybody okay leaving in 20 minutes at 11? Amber, is that fine with you with your property? If we leave at 11 and go straight to Birdie Way, can you, if you're still online, can you give me a thumbs up? That's all right. I think she logged off. But we'll leave in about 15, 20 minutes to head over to Birdie Way, then go to Isle Bay and then over to Ruskin. The Caravan sheets, are they downstairs? So you have it in your email with the addresses. So we'll leave in 15 to 20 minutes.
Cool.
So with that being said, guys, have an awesome Tuesday.